How are we doing, guys? All Leeds TV, Leeds 2, Bolton 1, and a quick little review of the game. So you look at the first half, absolutely exceptional first half. Everyone knew what they were doing. There was a little bit of concern that, when you saw the team sheet, maybe everyone would gel so well. They hadn't really played together. Some people were playing out of position, but I've got to say that first half was just a carry on from the first two games. It was just so energetic, pressing high up the pitch, winning all the second balls, creating, Samuel Sive absolutely outstanding throughout the game. Two beautiful clipped passes over to Bamford and Harrison on the feet as well. Bamford and Harrison hardly had to move for either pass, and just on the feet. Unfortunately, they messed up the finishes a little bit, but I'm not going to criticise either of them too much for that, because it would have been two amazing goals if they'd gone in. And then you look at the two goals we score as well. Patrick Bamford, absolutely brilliant goal, Patrick Bamford, and that's Patrick Bamford in a nutshell. That goal, he doesn't need service to score goals, and he proved that with the goal. Really, he's maybe got a bit lucky the way the ball bounced to him, but he's had to take on a defender. He's just sidestepped him onto his left foot into the corner, no problem at all. 1-0, and then second goal, Lewis Baker wins the ball, drives forward about 40 yards. Just literally easily, doesn't really get challenged, just 40 yards, running straight, sprinting. Samuel Sive to the left of him pops up, he picks up Samuel Sive, a little bit behind in the pass, but Samuel Sive does the rest. Sidesteps the defender onto his right foot, and it's going in no matter what. And it just sums up that first half. 2-0, could have been further ahead. The only slight moments where he looks a little bit dodgy in the first half was, I think Pontus didn't quite look on it in the first half. He at times was, his touch wasn't quite there, gave the ball away a few times, a little bit slow to react, but that was the only real times Bolton came through. But everyone else in the defence, Pearce, Ayling, Shackleton covered him when necessary, and then Pontus really stepped up in the second half when we were under a bit more pressure. He was really the main man in that back four. Really, he stood to the task, and just managed the game really. And then on to the second half. I think the first 15 minutes were difficult. Bolton came at us, played with a little bit less fear. They sat back quite a bit in the first half, which is understandable. The way you've been playing the first two games, you're not going to try and go gung-ho against us, because we have got that ability now, I think, to pick teams off. So it was interesting seeing us play against a team that sat back a little bit more and played with the long ball. As we were pressing high up the pitch, they weren't trying to still play the ball out. They were forced into playing long balls, and we won them in the first half. Maybe second half, when Josh McGuinness came on, it was a bit more of a challenge because of the aerial threat he has. But I thought we coped. First 15 minutes of the second half were a little bit on edge. You look at the Bolton goal. Janik Will shot, brilliant run for the midfield, cuts in. I think maybe we could have dealt with that a little bit better. I thought maybe we could have got a tackle in there. He gets a shot off, it gets blocked, and they do get a bit lucky the way it rebounds back to him. It's a good little finish. So, and you look at that and you think maybe it's a bit of a lucky goal, but we could defend that better, I suppose, from the midfield or one of the defenders pushing up. But one of those things, 2-1. They could have got it to 2-2. Shot from distance. Jamal Blackman parries it. Well, doesn't parry it. He spills it really. It goes straight to Yannick Vilshut, who somehow misses. But after that, Click, Alioska came on, and I thought we got control again. Click, I thought, again, not quite as impressive as his first two games, but kept things ticking over and we just regained control. Weren't quite as convinced as we were this first half, but we had control in that second half towards the end. And there was some, great solo runs off Baker, Harrison, Roof, and just stretching their defence a bit. Roof came on too to stretch him, and I thought it was good. The way we managed the game, we didn't panic at 2-1. We just made some quick changes off Bielsa as well. Brought some more energy onto the pitch, and we just looked brilliant, and it's good. It's really good. Look at individual performances. I thought Shackleton and Pearce on wing back, full back were just brilliant. I thought they both did really well, and Sive. My man of the match today, Samuel Sive, by an absolute distance. 2 clipped passes, the work he did for his goal, and just every time he got on the ball, he was looking to drive forward, he was looking to create the space, and he just did it brilliantly. There was a moment in the second half where he picked up the ball, and the obvious thing to do would have been to run straight to goal, but instead he runs more towards the corner flag, he drags all the defence over towards the left back, and then just frees up the space on the other end of the pitch, and he finds Patrick Bamford, who has a good little shot, and it's saved. But it's just little things like that, you see that little bit of intelligence, that vision, and it's like Samuel Sive of the first half of last season, but just with a bit more freedom and playing with better players around him, more confident players, more suitable players to the system. And I think you really see that at the moment. And Special mention for Calvin Phillips again in the centre of the park, playing that quarterback role to an extent, spraying the ball about and just being solid again, keeping things ticking over. Luke Ayling playing out of position, I thought he was solid. He made one little moment where he overplayed a pass for Pontus Jansson, but Pontus Jansson covered brilliantly. And hopefully, we can keep giving these youngsters chances, or people on the fringes of the first team chances. You like to see the likes of Jack Clark, Oriel Ray, Conor Shaughnessy. Hopefully they'll get chances. Ryan Edmondson as well. There's a lot of potential youngsters in that team who hopefully will get some chances in the cup. And I don't see a cup run as a bad thing necessarily. I think if it builds confidence, it keeps the first team on the toes. You look at the season under Gary Monk. We had a good cup run in the Carling Cup or League Cup, whatever it was then. We went out ultimately to Liverpool, but a lot of players from that cup run, got themselves into the team, built confidence, and hopefully, that can happen again. I don't see it as a bad thing, a cup run at all. I think we can rotate the team, keep the certain players who aren't maybe starting games happy. Make sure you check out Joe's review of the game as well. All Leeds TV. Thanks very much for watching.